Hi, everyone. I am Bruce Rosenblatt of Senior Housing Solutions. Great to see everyone today. Hope everybody's having a good day today and staying well. If you don't know who I am, but I think majority of people do know who I am, but I am the owner of Senior Housing Solutions, and I provide advice for people who are thinking about senior housing for the future. So I've been in the industry for over 30 years, and my company is actually this month is celebrating our 13th year. And that's what I do is I help people provide advice, provide input for people so they can, make an educated decision about senior housing in the future. I also try to be a resource for people. And so I have a number of different resources that I use. I sort of have a little toolbox that I can reach into. And one of those tools I use quite frequently is Marla Ottenstein. Marla is Naples' premier professional organizer. I have known Marla for many, many years. She's a good friend of mine. And I know her business, you've been 14 years, Marla. And so she's been in the business, but she is a professional organizer. She helps people declutter. She helps people downsize or right size. And she, it's just a great person. And, I think everybody sort of struggles with what do you do with all your stuff? And, how do you know, what do you do? And so Marla is a great person to tap into that. Over the years, I think Marla has, she used to do these hurricane seminars, and she's become sort of an expert on how to get prepared for hurricanes. And I'm prepared for a hurricane. And they say that the more prepared you are, the least likely something will happen. So I'm ready, or I'm not ready. So Marla, it's great to have you here, and welcome. And I'm gonna let you take it from here.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I just have to warn you in advance, they're doing work on my roof of all days. So the dog, it started at 7 this morning. So the dog may go a little crazy, unexpected. Anyway, as Bruce said, I've been in this business for almost 14 years. For 10 years, I wrote a column for the Naples Daily News, and it was called Get Organized. And now I write, and that was twice a month. Now I write once a month for Florida Weekly. And I like to consider myself an expert on hurricane preparedness. I have worked with Dan Summers, who is the director of the Collier County Bureau of Emergency Services. We've given 4 hurricane lectures over the years. He is one of the top 5 people that is called in whenever there is a disaster, be it the wildfires in California and Oregon, or be it hurricanes up and down the eastern seaboard. But he has actually seen my hurricane checklist, and he has called it the most comprehensive and accurate disaster preparedness list he's ever seen. In fact, he reviewed it and edited it. I will be sending each of you one of these, okay? If for some reason and this is a copyrighted document, I like to mention that. So you can't use it for your own, you can't use it for promotional purposes. But you can also go to my website, www.professionalorganizerflorida.com, and you can download a copy. So if you want to print out some hard copies for your family, please do so. But following this, I will be sending each of you, it is 2 pages. So I'm going to start off by saying, don't be freaked out. Okay, it's really, really a long list. This has been developed over 10 years. And when you look at it, you're going to say, what is she, crazy? So I am not crazy, but I have all of my hurricane supplies in 2 bins. You know, the normal bins that you see, not the huge ones, the ones that you could put files in that are easy to lift. I have all of my hurricane supplies in just 2 of those, not counting food. I even have a little Coleman stove. But today I'm going to go over the list with you. I want to tell you a couple of things though. It's broken up, I have to look at it. It's broken down into categories: standard essentials, optional supplies, things that you need to do as far in advance as possible, things to do 1 week before the storm, 3 days before the storm, 24 hours before the storm, et cetera, okay? But some of the stuff, just standard supplies, you can go to Lowe's or you can go on Amazon and you can get everything in about an hour and a half. You can be completely ready for a hurricane, okay? Not counting the food. So a couple of things I want to mention first. Everybody needs to make sure to have your mobile phones cleared. So I had some people stay at my house. I had 9 people stay at my house during Hurricane Irma. I stayed someplace else. And I had 3 teenage girls. And I said, you need to clear your voicemails. And they said, oh yeah, but my boyfriend left me a message. I said, yeah, and it's taking up space on your voicemail. So when there is an emergency or when your father, who's stuck in an airport in Atlanta, tries to call you, he needs to know he can get through to you. So it's important that before a storm, you erase all of your voicemails. You also need to go in and erase your deleted voicemails. So have you ever called somebody and it says, this phone, there's no room on the voicemail? A lot of times it's because you have deleted voicemails, okay? You also have blocked, the people that you block, if they leave a voicemail, that's under blocked voicemails. You'll see it. Just go, I didn't know this until someone said, you know, you're blocked. You don't need room. So that's a really important thing to do. Another thing is that your friends and your family need to know that you will communicate when you can, but you're not going to be texting everybody. You're not going to be doing a lot of social media. You will let them know after the storm that you are safe. You do one group. You can set it up in advance. You can set up 20, 30 people on a group text, send it out as a test, and tell your friends, after the hurricane's over, I will send one text. Please do not reply. Because you know, when people go, oh, good to know. Oh, so happy you're safe. Thank you for letting me know, blah, blah, blah. That takes up room on your devices. And it takes up battery power, okay? So I'm gonna just go over a couple of things. And then at the end, we're gonna have a Q&A and Bruce is gonna tell me, hey, time out, stop, Marla. This is a crazy one. I'm probably the only person you know who still has a landline, okay? The reason why I have a landline is twofold. Number one, my landline telephone number is on my business card so that when people that I'm out and about and I give them my number, I tell them this is a landline, so they will leave a message. When I'm with clients during the day, I don't want my phone to be ringing. So that's why I have a landline. The other reason why is when I first moved here, like my second hurricane, I wanted to call my parents and I couldn't because my mobile phone didn't work and my landline didn't work because it was a remote. So you have that's plugged in to the phone and also plugged into the electrical. So someone said you need like a princess phone, an old-fashioned princess phone that works strictly with a phone plug, okay? So that's why I have this, $5.95 Walmart. Thankfully, I've never had to use it, okay? Batteries, don't laugh, but batteries should be regular batteries, not the rechargeable kind. People go, oh, I'm gonna buy lots of rechargeable batteries. Well, I just wanna throw this out there. If you don't have electricity, you can't charge your batteries. Duh. Okay, sorry, but this is like this, everyone says to me, why not? So I just want us all to put our thinking cap on. Speaking of batteries, make sure that you have enough batteries and the right kind of batteries for your different appliances and things. So I try to get everything with AA or with D batteries because they're the most frequently used. I have a electric toothbrush, well, a battery operated AA. This comes in very handy, okay? Not just for cleaning grout, but for cleaning your teeth. AA. So when I buy things, I actually look to say, what kind of battery does it take? Okay. I've got a lot of D's. You need to make sure, you say to yourself, well, they say they expire. Does that mean they really expire in 2026? I don't want to know. I don't want to be the one to find out. So every 10 years, I do buy new batteries. Yeah, I don't want to be surprised and not have batteries. Everybody knows that you need to have a can opener if you eat canned food, and it should once again be manual. This is all on this list. I like having a wine key. Now, this is the one thing that Dan and I disagreed about. Dan goes, Marla, people should not be drinking during a hurricane. And my answer is, that's the only way I got through Hurricane Charlie and Hurricane Irma. But, you can always get canned wine or boxed wine, but can opener also works for other things. You have a sharp edge. It's another thing, okay? I have a portable grill. So if you have a little portable grill, once again, I've never used it, but make sure you've got propane. Okay, a lot of people go, oh, well, this works. It plugs in. Once again, it's the plug-in factor. I keep repeating that because so many people tend to forget that we live in a digital and an electric age. Ziploc bags. I've got everything here. I just have to turn around a little bit. Not everything. Ziploc bags, okay, quart and gallon size, lots of them. And why? Okay, well, you know what? You never know. You might not be able to flush the toilet, for example. Okay, or you may cook something on the grill and you want to put it in a bag to save it. All right, it's easy. What? It's easier to store things in bags because they're pliable. So if you have a cooler, everybody needs to have a cooler. You can put, your food in the bags and they can push into the little crevices. Okay. Don't laugh. Ice tray. Now, I will tell you my little story about ice trays. After Hurricane Irma, all I wanted was a cocktail with an ice cube. Forget it. So a friend of mine, he said, look what I did. And he took all these little baby Dixie cups and he had filled them with water and he put them in his freezer. So even when the electricity went out, because he didn't open his freezer a lot and he had bags of ice in there to keep things cool, he had ice cubes. So now I have a little ice tray. Priorities are very important. Flashlights, okay, once again, works with D batteries. Now, you've already missed the tax. I think that the tax-free weekend ended last weekend, but you can never have too many flashlights, okay? Once again, vitamin D. Some people like having a headlamp. I just like to have my flashlights, and you can hang them, just to let you know. Something else that I love, and this is going to be on the hurricane checklist, okay? It's by a company called Bulb, B-U-L-B, like a light bulb head, and the company is called Atomic Beam. Don't worry about it. You have the website on this list, very complete. Now, this is great. I don't have batteries in this now, and you all know that you should take your batteries out of things before, okay, because they get corroded. But you go like this, and it's the brightest light you can imagine. And you can hang it like this, or on the bottom, there's a little hook. It's hard to see, but can you kind of see the hook? This will light up an entire room. Like my office, if I had this on, would be as bright as it is now. I have 3 or 4 of these. They're great. When you go online, sometimes they have a deal that you buy 2, you get the 3rd free, or you buy 3 and they give you a flashlight. So look for the deals, okay? And it's cheaper to buy it through them directly than it is on Amazon. Just looking at my little list, okay? Don't laugh. Dry shampoo. Okay, everybody laughs. Dry shampoo. Why dry shampoo? Well, when you go 7 days without a shower and all you have is a pool to dip in, and everybody else in the world's been in that pool, dry shampoo came in very, very handy. This is just from CVS or something. Now, once again, something I've never had to use, but someone gave it to me, and it's a hand crank AM/FM radio. Now, I'm afraid to take it out of the box because if I do, that means we're gonna have a hurricane, a bad one. It's that, it's the curse. But I think Dan gave this to me, as a matter of fact, Dan from Bureau of Emergency Services, and you just crank it up. We all have our iPhones and we all depend on our phones for up to the minute news, but there may come a time that you don't have access to cellular towers. Okay, so we have to be prepared. So I just thought Bruce, don't let me forget. I already forgot. I'll think of it. Don't worry. Okay, matches, yes, and these little things. These are wonderful. Now I'm going to give you a hint. I'm Jewish, so on the anniversary of someone's death, we light a Yortzeit candle. It's a little candle that lasts for 24 hours. So I had about 20 of those in my hurricane preparedness kit. And Dan said to me that during Hurricane Hugo, that was up in the Carolinas, I think it was 1996, there were 9 deaths from the hurricane, but they were not from the hurricane. They were from open flames. So candles are a no-no, okay? But you need this if you're gonna light your propane. So use these, like the little bulb light, use flashlights. Please do not use candles. I no longer have those. I mean, I thought I was being a really good girl having 24 or 25 of these little candles, and now I know that they're dangerous, okay? But you do need to have matches, and you do need to have these kind of lighter things. Insect repellent, things like that, snake bite kit. Why do you need that? Well, after a hurricane, there's a lot of water, and you want to be really careful in case there's snakes, and also in case there are any exposed wires. That's why I have these boots, and Bruce really wants them. I have 2 of them. I'm just showing you one.
I don't know what your size would be my size.
I don't think so. $14.99 on Amazon. I bought them 2 or 3 years ago. Thankfully, again, I've never had to wear them. But if you go outside, it's really important to have rubber because it works at, if you step on a wire or a snake, hopefully you'll be protected. Speaking of snakes, I hate snakes, okay? Hate snakes. First aid kit. I'm a single lady. I need a little one, okay? But I've got lots of Band-Aids. And I don't think there's a snake thing in here, only because after hurricane, I'm not going outside, just to let you know, because I'm afraid of snakes. But get a first aid kit. You need Neosporin. I have it written down here. Wait, what did I write down? You need Neosporin, Band-Aids, an ACE bandage, alcohol wipes, things like that, peroxide, okay? You can actually go online. The internet's an incredible thing. Go online and say, what do I need in a first aid kit? And they have lists of like how to make your own multi-purpose first aid kit, okay? So solar power phone chargers, which I am still looking for a good one, but also these little things. You've all seen these, right? These little battery backups. This is not a backup for your files on your computer. This is to back up, to have energy enough to charge your phone. So you plug it into, did it the wrong way. Whoops. Yeah, I can't even do it. There. You plug the little USB thing into a plug in the wall, charge these suckers. This one is 10,400 mAh, whatever that means. But essentially it will charge 2 mobile phones for 2 full charges, okay? I have like 5 of these. Always a good bet to have these and to charge these right before a storm. Another thing to do is to charge your computer and back up all your files before the storm, okay? Now what happens is that when we're getting ready for a storm, we're nervous, right? And we're doing a million things. So it's really important that you do not multitask. I know you can't believe I'm saying that, okay? But and the more you can do in advance, the better, because you're going to be prepared. So during the year, spend about 2 hours, go through your house, your apartment, and take photographs of all of your possessions, okay? God forbid there be an insurance claim. You need to have that be up to date. But if you do that in advance, you don't have to worry about it, okay? But do one thing at a time, knowing that right before the hurricane, one of the last things you're going to do is charge all of your devices and back up your computer. Now, I think that on the list, I think it says backup either to the cloud or to an external battery, external hard drive. Just make sure it's backed up. What I do is I actually back it up and to an external hard drive, and I send a copy to friends of mine up north so they have it. Okay. Let me just look at my little list. Obviously, you need a cooler. Now, we discovered something during Hurricane Irma. What I did is, once I knew the hurricane was coming, because I'm already in the process of eating everything that's in my freezer. All right, so you want to start working on getting rid of your food, buying only what you need. But what I did is, when I knew the hurricane was coming our way, we had about a week to get freaked out. I started making ice and putting it into Ziploc bags. The reason why is because those little battery packs, they're about an inch thick, about 3 inches or 4 inches wide, and about 6 inches long. They take up a lot of space in your cooler. So what I did is I just made bags and bags and bags of ice cubes, and I used those in my cooler, but I also put them in my freezer. Because if you don't open your freezer, even if you don't have electricity, trust me, 3 or 4 days, things will stay cold. I know this for a fact because my mother did that. But what happened was, I was at a friend's and Hurricane Irma came in, and we took all the towels and putting them up against the windows, because the water comes through the hurricane shutters. You know, there's such a force that if you have hurricane shutters for your lanai, the water will seep through. So we had all these towels that were soaking wet. We went out by the pool and we wrung them out. And then we took the towels that were wet and we stacked them on top of the cooler. Our food in the cooler stayed frozen for a week. And the ice cubes in the cooler, it was amazing. Now, of course, the cooler we kept in a dark place. We didn't keep it in the garage. We kept it inside the house in a dark room. You know, all of these things make a difference. Survival, right? Blankets, pillows, inflatable mattresses, these kind of things. Everybody knows about that. Gas cans. So yes, buy 1, buy 2 of the UL approved plastic or aluminum gas cans. Do not go and be a hoarder. You know, this is what happened, 3 weeks ago when the pipeline went down. Be considerate of other people. Fill 2 of the gas cans. Don't keep them in your house, keep them outside. And hopefully, once again, you'll never have to use it. But we've all been to the gas station. We've all seen people topping off their cars and then filling 20 cans of gas. In my opinion, those people will rot in HELL. That spells hell. Weird things to have, I know. Duct tape, and people go, why? I don't know. But it's duct tape. It's for everything, right? You always need duct tape, so why not? Something else I love, I mean, this is one of those weird things, bungee cords. I'm looking at my list of really weird things to have. Bungee cords and duct tape. I don't know why, but you know, they always say duct tape for everything. Good thing to have, gloves, work gloves. When there was a hurricane, I think Charlie, trees came down by my garage. I had to move the trees by myself because our handyman's good for nothing, you know, our building guy. So I got my own things. No, I don't have a power saw, but these gloves have come in very handy. Okay, fans. We're gonna talk about fans. This is the greatest fan in the world. This is called O2 Cool, and it's in the original box. Once again, I don't want to take it out because that's a bad curse. I have a couple of these. You wear these around your neck, and AA battery, and it's about it's the size of 2 cigarette cases put together, if you had to think about it that way. Okay. I was in Turkey a couple of years. No, I was in Morocco 2 years ago, and we checked into a hotel, didn't have air conditioning because some people from Japan had stayed in it the night before and they blew the electricity and everybody was suffering. I had my little fan. It's not as good as an air conditioning, but when it's 100 degrees out, it was pretty good, okay? Battery operated. Then we have this. All right, you don't have to write this down, okay? It's in here. This, once again, is by a company called O as in Ottenstein, the number 2, cool. Cool, like I'm cool. Bruce is cool. It is battery operated, or you can plug it in, okay? And this is really good. So like, let's say that you have water damage after I have a couple of these. If you have any water damage and your electricity is working and you have to dry out the floors, for example, 2 of these worked wonders when the water came in and almost ruined my wood floors, okay? In the original ones came with a little USB port. They don't anymore. But then again, they might come up, who knows? But the last time, I buy this for house gifts for people. The last time they did not have this. I think they're $20, maybe $30. Amazon, also Bed Bath & Beyond. Okay, and Bed Bath & Beyond have these. And you know, we all love Bed Bath & Beyond because everything's 20% off, right? Okay, a couple things. Oh, Clorox wipes. You can never have too many. Go to Costco, get 2 3-packs. That's more than you need, okay? Because after a hurricane, if you don't have electricity, you just want to keep wiping everything down, you know, just disinfecting everything. Wipes, okay, like, you know, body wipes, whatever you want to call them. They're great. Once again, didn't have a shower for 7 days. These came in very handy. Now, these are supplies, and people say, well, should I have a generator? You know, generators are heavy. You know, the portable generators only last for about a week. If you have a portable generator, you cannot have it in your garage. You have to have it outside of your house. If you decide to get a generator, I would consider having one built in. You have to remember it's gas. You have to have the gas refilled. And you get a carbon monoxide monitor. But that's a whole different, you know, that's a whole different thing. I'm looking at my little list here. Chainsaw, not. Something that's really important is, and you should have it anyway, you should have a list. Remember, you may not be able to get on the internet if you save things in the cloud. So if all of your passwords are password protected and you're using Safari to save them, or you're using password 1 or 1Password, you're not gonna be able to get to them if you don't have cellular service. Okay, so I suggest you should have them saved anyway to a little thumb drive, but for the sake of a hurricane, have a printout. Put your passwords someplace safe, the ones that you need, okay? I can't see what you're showing me. Tell me after, okay? Tell me during Q&A, because I can't see. Let me see what else. Oh, so, you know, a hurricane's coming and we're all watching TV, right? We're watching TV, and then you see a little blink. The TV blinks, or your lights blink. That is the time to turn everything off, okay? Now, let me preface this. Before the hurricane comes, the day of the hurricane, you are going to crank your AC to as cold as you can go. 66 degrees, okay? Your house, your apartment is going to be really, really cold. You're also going to crank your refrigerator and freezer to the coldest setting. Okay, these are things they're not going to tell you in a book. You are going to make everything as unbearably cold as possible, even if it freezes whatever's in your refrigerator, okay? The second you see a light blink, turn your TV off, unplug it, okay? And turn your air conditioning off. Now, I have to remember the order because I have that ordered. It's in here, okay? It just tells you off at the breaker. You turn the air handler off first, then the condenser. The instructions are in here. The reason why is if you do what's called a hard start, not if you do, when the electricity comes back on and all of your appliances come back on at once, that's called a hard start. And 9 out of 10 times, your air conditioning is going to break, okay? There's a $300 little thing in there that will break. Don't ask me the name of it. I'm not a mechanic, but I had it happen to me, and that's how I learned. So the second something blinks, the second you get an inkling that that hurricane is going to be right there, turn your air conditioning off, unplug all your major appliances. And you should turn your ice maker off also. It's really important to turn your ice maker off. And yes, you're going to suffer for 12, maybe more hours that you're not going to have television. That's what books are for. It's amazing. That's why these millennials, that's why they're so bored, because they don't even know how to read a book, let alone tie their shoes. It's the Velcro generation. Don't get me started, okay? I'm just looking at my little list of things because, hurricane shutters, have them serviced. And what they do for service is just go up and use a little silicone, have them serviced 6 months out. I haven't done once a year. If you have electric shutters, run them up and down. I do it once a month to make sure everything's working. You don't want to wait until the hurricane comes to find out that they don't work, okay? I don't care if they break and they're down. I've been in the dark before. God, I've been in the dark before, but you want to make sure they work, that they'll go down. Now, pet safety. Bruce and I are big pet owners. If you love your pets, you will have them microchipped. If you love your pets, you will have them on a harness and a leash and have a tag. But don't let your pets run out. Don't say to yourself, oh, he's never run away. Well, maybe your pet's never experienced a hurricane before and they're cooped up. If your dogs are okay in a crate, put them in a crate. My dog is not okay in a crate. That's why she has no teeth, because she tried to eat her way out of a metal crate. I kid you not. $875 later, no teeth. And no, I do not give her soft food. But microchip, a tag, keep your dog on a harness, not just a leash, okay? I had Prozac for my dog and for me too, but Prozac is a wonderful thing for your dogs, and a toy. Keep your dogs close at hand. We all love our pets. Let's be careful, okay? Have food for them, have their meds, do whatever you need to do. Some people use these blankets, they're for thunder. Just do whatever you can because we love our pets. So a lot of people do this sandbag thing where they put sand. Well, let me go back. A lot of people, you've heard, I'm sure, oh, go into the garage, put the garage door down, and then back your car up to the garage door. How many people have ever heard of this? Okay. There's a word in Yiddish called bubimeisen. It means don't believe it, okay? Bubimeisen means it's not true. What you should do is when you drive into your garage, drive as far closest to the door to your house as possible, leaving as much room as possible between the garage door and your car, okay? Because the wind is powerful. The wind will, I don't know if you've ever seen it, I've seen it, garage doors buckle They buckle, and they will buckle toward your, unless you've got a hurricane-proof garage door, okay? Now, when this is all said and done, if you have any questions, I always say to people, you know, the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. So after this morning, I'm not sure you're gonna get it today, but you'll get it tomorrow. I'm gonna send you the hurricane checklist. If you have questions or if you have ideas, if I missed something, let me know. I'll add it the next time I do a hurricane checklist update. But if you have a question, please email me, okay? And I will get back to you with an answer. I promise. Give me 48 hours to get back to you. Really important is to turn government alerts on, okay? I don't have the number handy, but it's in my phone. It starts with a 252, but you can sign up. I'm gonna look really quickly, okay? 252, I think I can do it, 252. Collier County. It's the Collier County Bureau of Emergency Services. I can't find it in my book right now. And what it is it's a, you know how you get Amber alerts that go, ee? It's the same sort of thing for flash flood warnings, tornado warnings, things like that. Sign up for it and you will get text messages and telephone messages. So you'll recognize it though, because it is a 252 number from Collier County. It's not a spam. I just realized that I don't have it in my phone, so I will do that immediately. Something else you can do in advance, and please don't wait for the advance being the week before a hurricane. Update your insurance coverage to make sure you have sufficient insurance coverage. A week before the hurricane, you can't do anything. You can't even buy homeowners insurance, okay? So you want to make sure that your personal property is covered. Ask questions. You know, so how many people here, raise your hands, not me, how many people just get the insurance, pay the bill? Anybody? Okay, how many people here get the bill and the insurance coverage and really, really, really study your document page? Okay, like really study it. You need to know what is covered. So for example, personal property. Let's say it says personal property coverage is $25,000. I'm just gonna make this real simple for you, okay? I want you to walk through your house and think to yourself, okay, if there was a hurricane and the roof blew off the top of my house, is $25,000 going to cover my personal property? Okay. But then again, you don't want to be crazy insured, okay? I mean, I'm going to assume most of the people on this call are not living, you know, in a $10 million apartment on Gulf Shore Boulevard, okay? They were normal people. So go through your apartment. I've got $160,000, $180,000. That'll cover it because I'm not going to replace a lot of things. You know, and all of a sudden you say, I need a sofa. I don't need this, this, and this. How many TVs do I need? So you have to decide how much coverage you need. Now, some insurance policies give you limits. Okay, they will say, this is all you are allowed for the price of your home. All right, but talk to your insurance agent and tell that person, you know what, I'd like to be educated. Would you please spend 20, 30 minutes with me and walk me through my policy so that I know what it's all about? Okay. There may be some things that you want to remove, some things you want to add to it, but we want to be educated, and now is the time to be educated. It goes without saying that you need to bring in your doormats, all your decorative knickknacks. Bruce, I know you probably need to bring in your beautiful fire pit from outside. I've seen the picture, right? The fire pit and the 2 champagne glasses and you guys with your feet up. But whatever you can bring in, don't bring it in the day of the hurricane, bring it in, you know, ahead of time. But once again, this list, this really, I mean, it's a checklist. You can, mine is laminated because I'm an organizer and I'm organized, but you can print it out and you can actually put check marks next to it. So when you get off the phone or off the call with me today, you have a weekend ahead of you. What I would do is I would just say, okay, this weekend I'm going to go to Lowe's and I'm going to get as many of the standard essentials as I can. Now, for example, I'm looking on my desk. It says that you should have a heavy duty all-purpose hammer and screwdriver, okay? This has different bits. Don't think that you're going to use the one that's in your toolkit, because what's going to happen is when a hurricane's coming, you're going to have to remember to go to your toolkit and to pull this out. Am I right? So for 20 bucks, buy a really good screwdriver, have it in with all your stuff. I would suggest printing out certain things. So you're going to need to have at least one bin, clear plastic, for your papers. All right. If you decide to evacuate, you're going to put that bin in your car. All right. Or a small thing in a plane if you can get out. I would suggest printing out a copy of your insurance policies. Now, I can access mine on the internet, but once again, if the internet's down, so have a copy handy. Have your checkbooks. So what I do is I have a list, and it's in here once again, of things that you should gather. So put them all in a Ziploc bag, your passport, your checks, your COVID card, okay? Which is something I will be adding to this. Your vaccination card, any meds, prescriptions for eyeglasses, an extra pair of eyeglasses, extra contacts. If you're diabetic, make sure you've got your syringes and all your stuff. And this is a little known fact, but right before a hurricane, you can usually go to the pharmacy. They will give you double your prescriptions. Most people don't know that, found that out last year. They actually said to me, do you want double your allergy pills? I'm like, sure, why not? But have this Ziploc bag handy. So God forbid you have to leave. You're going to have one bin with all your paperwork, and you're going to have a Ziploc bag with all those important things, okay? I have an exercise to give you all, and then I'm going to let Bruce tell me to shut up.
I'm close.
I know I'm close. I just saw the time. But this is a little thing. A couple of years ago in the Naples Daily News, I wrote about the 10 things I would take with me if ever there was an emergency, okay? Now, if you go to my website under blog, you can just enter that and you'll see. So the 10 things I would take, of course, my passport, my computer, but I want you all to think about my dog, but the way she's been behaving lately, I'm going to take her to Bruce's. I'm not going to take her with me. And I put on my list that I'd take my blue jeans, and somebody got really upset and told me that my priorities were out of whack. But ladies, if we all know what it's like to try on blue jeans and to find a pair that fits, right? Make sure that blue jeans are on your list of 10. But all joking aside, I would like you to sit down and think about if you had to leave and you had a half hour notice, what would you take with you? It will help you, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, it will help you make those decisions quickly, okay? Because even though we're gonna have 7 or 8 days to think about it, a lot goes on in those 7 or 8 days before a hurricane gets here. The last thing I wanna say is have a plan. If you have decided that you're going to get out of town and you're gonna go to Orlando or you're gonna go to Atlanta, do it. Don't wait for the last minute, because we all know what happened with I-75, okay? If you decide you're gonna stay, stay. And when the storm comes, do not leave. You're going to hunker down, okay? And the last thing I wanna say is be patient with yourself, with your family, with others. Everybody's in the same boat. No matter how many hurricanes we've all experienced, it's still a traumatic experience. So let's cross our fingers. I hope never to take things out of the box. And let's be safe this year. Please remember that, complacency is our enemy. And the time to get ready for a hurricane is today. So, Bruce.
Thanks, Marla. That's great. Great information, very entertaining. And I just got to correct you. It's duct tape, not duck. I
Yeah,
know-
you're right. It's duck, like quack tape.
No,
Thank
it's not. It's not.
Wait, why does it say that?
Well, because you got some crazy tape, but it's for duct work. That's why it's DUC.
Oh, okay, but I like duck because it's pink. But okay, but whatever.
Whatever.
I've heard that. I know I'm wrong, but then why does this company have duct tape?
'Cause you bought it.
It's pink.
So anybody have any questions or comments for Marla? Anyone?
Yes, Terry.
Hold on.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I just moved down to Naples at the end of August, and I don't have hurricane shutters, and I'm by myself. So how would I board up sliding glass doors if I'm on the second floor? And then how would I get them back off if I've now put them against the glass doors to close them?
Okay, so good question. My first year that I lived here, I lived in a little house in Old Naples, and everybody said, oh, that house made it through Hurricane Donna. So I was still nervous, and I went and I got plywood, and I had to then find somebody to put it up. And then someone said, oh, tape your windows, a big X. That
Yeah.
doesn't work, okay? It's still not too late right now. I mean, if you might be able to get hurricane shutters. There's really nothing you can do. I hate to tell you if you're lanai, but one thing is, do not be in the room with lanai with windows during a hurricane. Go into a room that doesn't have any windows.
So that's the unfortunate part, is that the entire back of the condo is all lanai windows.
Okay, so, and mine also. I now have shutters, but go on the other side of the condo if you can, and just stay in a smaller room.
Okay.
And what's going to be is going to be. It's just, and just pray. I mean,
I have a name. We just got the plexiglass storm shutters, and they're so much easier to put up. They're light, and I'll forward you their contact information. It wasn't as expensive as the metal ones.
Terrific.
They're easy. You're easy to put up too. So.
Not so easy. So I have to just tell you my little story, not to disagree with you. Guess what? Hurricane Irma. I came home and something was going bang, bang, bang. The wind came between my plexiglass ones, ripped them off the side of my building. The stucco had to be repaired. No matter how you look at it, it's an expensive endeavor. I have someone also to let you know about, but Bruce, the only problem is on the second floor, she's going to have to find somebody to put them in. And I had to put them in before I had my electric ones. I had to find somebody to put them in, and it was hell every year. You're big and strong and tall. We'll give you a couple names.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. Who's next? This lady here. Beverly, what were you showing us?
I was showing you, it's like an address book. It's alphabetized, but it's for your passwords.
Perfect. And sometimes a hard piece of paper is what works best.
Right.
Don't show us those.
Yeah, please open up to the page where it says Amazon.
It's the very first one. Yeah, it's really good. That's
a great idea.
Really
oh, let me zoom in.
That's a great idea, Beverly.
Who else? As I said, what you can do is, I've got things going on this afternoon. I've got an appointment. So I won't get the hurricane list to you probably until later this evening. And when Bruce is so good, he's going to send me everybody's name like within 1 minute if he hasn't done it already, because he is super organized. But I will get you a link to the hurricane checklist PDF. But in the meantime, you can go to my website, www.professionalorganizerflorida.com. You can go to the blog page, and there are a couple blogs about hurricanes. You can also, like three down on the right-hand side, you can click and get a copy of the hurricane checklist. And remember, you're going to be doing things that work for you. So for example, I don't eat canned food. So when I know a hurricane's coming, I get lots of oranges, I get boxed milk. Oh, I am a coffee addict. So I actually have 4 or 5 thermoses filled with coffee. But these are things over the years. This is a good one, right? Because I cannot survive without my coffee.
I
But what,
I made a list of all the food items I put in my cooler last year of like
oh,
all the dry goods for my hurricane food. So that way, I don't have to like be rethinking this list all over again.
you know what? If you send that to me, I'll post that on my page.
That's kind of personal.
I
Um,
have granola bars and I have dried apricots. He's gonna give me the list. You know that. He's a great cook. I'm begging you. But Bruce is a great cook. I'm gonna go and
so Marla, you just gotta, for what you do when you're organizing somebody, I know it's very difficult what you do for people. I think everybody can appreciate how much fun they would have by you helping them.
Thank you.
And because it is, I know what you do is sort of a love-hate type of thing, but obviously, with your sense of humor, I think it makes life a little easier.
Well, Bruce, tell your story.
So my story is that I had a storage unit from, from years and years and from previous lives and everything. In the storage unit, I really felt like I was being held hostage because every year I would be getting this bill and every year would go up. And, for some reason, I collected and my wife collected nutcrackers. And we had a store, and I'm Jewish, so what am I doing with nutcrackers? And so, we had a storage unit packed full of nutcrackers. And, packed. And I was like almost embarrassed. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I just kept on paying this thing, this fee every month. And it was just killing me. And so Marla's like, Bruce, I love going to storage units. Let me help you. And so I had to buy her lunch and she said, let me do it. And so we went over there and we had all the different piles and she ended up selling my nutcrackers and
In a minute.
I no longer have a storage unit.
And it was a rainy day and we had to go to St. Matthew's house 2 times, 3 times.
Probably 3 or 4, yeah.
We were laughing so hard. How much can you get into a 3x3 storage unit? I couldn't even get in there at one point, but we had fun. So thank you for recognizing that getting organized does not have to be stressful and everybody needs it. It's not everybody. If you open up a closet, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff I don't need. But it can be fun and I like to make it fun.
Well, thanks, Marla. Thanks for being who
Oh,
you
yes.
are. So,
Josephine.
Maura, it's such a joy to see you again. Brilliant presentation. I love it. I love you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so very much. I know you've attended a few of these.
Yes, and I keep coming to them, so keep giving more.
Well, it's Bruce. Bruce is the person who makes it happen. Thank you.
That's for sure. Thank you.
well, thanks everybody and stay well. And I'll be sending a recorded version and then Marla will be sending the checklist out to everybody. So keep a lookout and reach out to Marla if she has, if you have any questions or comments. She's very quick to respond. So thank you all. And, again, if you know of anybody needing senior housing, please think of me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Marla.
Have
Thanks
a great
very much.
day. What?
Great job.
Thank you.